Hello folks, Brew here. Today I would like to talk to you about the early on standard meta for Hearthstone. Basically, not everybody ordered 50 packs of the new expansion, and then a lot of us got the 5 bonus packs from the Tavern Brawls and from just logging in and stuff like that. But then you might get unlucky not just with your extra 5 packs, but with the pre-ordered 50 packs as well. And let's see um, what will be the week 1 of Ungor's standard. Basically, yes, Hunter did lose some stuff, but then other aggro decks became much worse, and then, well, with the exception of Pirate Warrior, and then Reno decks are gone. And then, okay, you still have the Jade Druid and Jade Shaman, and so on. But Hunter might have some hope. Basically, we would see something close to this list, with the exception of quick shots and then bear traps, yeah, and then add to the mix the secret keepers, and then basically you have the deck, and yeah, most likely it will feature the Finja package in it, because, well, why not? Just gives you a pretty good boost for your aggro deck. So, but it might not need it, might not feature it, might have something else. And yeah, of course there will be the quest hunter, but then again, you'd need to crack all those cards and just get lucky and so on. So um, that might be your early hunter deck, while you're getting cards for the new one-drop hunter. Then, well, you wouldn't see this, but you might see the other version, which is kind of more focused on the combo. Does not feature Genie. The Dragon Priestess will be gone, that's for sure. And then you might not have enough staff early on in the first few days for the Control Priest, for the Quest Priest. I would say the Fragile or Spell version and Elemental version or something like that. So something like this might be your early deck. We shall see. Uh, you would lose some of the cards, but not too many. Um, you would still have stuff to go on. Of course, losing Emperor does suck a bit, but like I mean, well, we'll have to live through that somehow anyway. And then the Quest Priest, well, with the Fragile Priest, um, is something I'm looking forward to, because it's a deck that basically got a Reno in a way, and then because losing Curator is kind of bad, so it will not be that easy to cast all those Defraddles. But then again, you still have Dragonfire Potion and stuff like that to clear, um, and you do have some healing, especially the new ones. So that might be a deck for just early testing and early ladder runs. And the thing is that there's still a bunch of those Hearthstone Champion Tour cups. Those tournaments, you'll have to come up with something real quick. Even if you pre-ordered, you'd have to, kind of operate in the um, environment of uncertainty a little bit, and just try to play something, uh, let's say, reliable and consistent. Um, well, some kind of OTK druid or Death Rattle. I mean, not druid, but priests, or Death Rattle priest might be a thing. So we shall see. Um, no, Evolve Shaman, first of all. First of all, Evolve Shaman. I would say that, unlike Aggro Shaman, which is pretty much dead, that might be a thing. because you lose some of the cards in here. You lose your aggressive curve, so you'll have to come up with something for sure. But then again, I think the elements are there. Uh, but despite the evolved package, in my mind, making some sort of basic elemental mid-range shaman shouldn't be that hard, considering that the free drops are commons, I think, and then the heal slash damage for forecast spell is common. So yeah, you might lack some legends and some rares, but then again, we will have some um, compensation for Ragnar, Sylvanas, and etc. So we'd get some dust back. So if your deck is just losing a couple legendaries or a few very important epics, I think you'll have the most of you will have the capacity to quickly craft them and then have a full complete deck. Moving on, that is Control Warrior. Also, let's say quest Control Warrior will be pretty hard to no, I mean pretty easy to make during the first week. There are multiple ways to build it, but it's a deck that I think will be pretty easy to build. Early on, you lose the Justicar. That's pretty big hit. Other than that, it's not gonna be that bad. And then again, by the way, I don't see here the Elise. Elise is a big hit, but then the reward for the quest is pretty insane, like one of the better quests and rewards. Um, so yeah, we'll have Pirate Warrior in the early weeks for sure. Maybe Pirate Warrior will still be there to stay as at least tier 2 deck. Maybe even it'll be better, but then while I do expect a lot of Pirate Warrior early on in the meta, I do encourage you to play Control Taunt Warrior as a mean to counter that and some other decks. Because you have a pretty good late game. Then also Reno decks will begin. Those were some offenders and some pretty tough matchups for Control Warrior. So with those again, you have more chance to actually succeed. I believe we're gonna lose Revenge as well, but so be it. We'll have to adapt to that. Whirlwind will be pretty sick because of some new cards. The legendary and I think something else actually synergized with it pretty damn well. Oh yeah, make copies of the damaged minions, so you can get extra copies of some of the value cards. Yeah. That is, I believe, Miracle Questing Rogue without Conceal. I don't know what Rogue will do. Quest Rogue doesn't seem all that exciting. You'd still have Aggro Rogue with Finja and so on, so that might be your default Rogue deck, and I don't think it will be too hard to make that deck during the first week after the set. Zoolock is probably gonna be one of those decks that you should expect a lot, I think, after Ungor is released. The deck loses a lot of pretty key cards, but it does gain a lot of crazy ones as well. So mainly you're losing the Imgang boss, but that's like sort of, well, it's been around for so long and such crazy good cards. So yeah, Reno Lock is probably, well, not probably, definitely gone. And then not only it loses Reno, it loses a lot of really good cards, like again, in-gang boss, it loses Demon Wrath, it loses a few of those cards that basically made the Reno Lock so consistent and so reliable. And I'm not surprised, and I'm happy that I saw people actually creating the builds of the revived handlock. So if you're a fan of Control Warlock, then you have some hope. There are some prototype builds of handlock, so that might be a thing again. Whether this is going to be good, I don't know. Mm, Probably that will be fun because during the first few weeks there will be a lot of aggro, I expect, and having something to counter that is pretty damn nice. And then uh, Control Warlock gained a couple of pretty sweet spells to clear and just get some tempo. On the other hand, you would be losing a lot of life. Uh, but that makes Molten Giant much better, um, and that's why perhaps Handlock might be a playable deck moving on. Well, there will be no Reno Mage, that's for sure. Um, and then what would you do when if you want to play Control? Uh, well, you play the Quest Mage, and there are already multiple pretty decent prototype deck list for that. One thing I think not everybody considering is the fact that you might want to have like that quest mage consistent, but on the other hand, you might make it flexible too. And um, okay, you lose Reno, but for the extra heal and extra board control, you might still want to be a Highlander deck with Kazakus in it. So I'm not, of course, 100% sure on that, but it feels to me that people are overlooking that option. Because Kazakus is a good reason to be a Highlander, and then you don't have to go full on the quest combo because you have still Antonidas, and then Inkmaster Sword is another good reason because then you can, just tempo out a Flame Strike, tempo out Kazakus Potion, uh, tempo out the extra turn very early on, and just to get tempo this way. Or just like Pyroblast them to face to finish off when you get that to the extra turn, stuff like that, so that when you get the extra turn, you may have mana not only just to cast Pyroblast off of Solia, but then also play like a Frostbolt to face so that you have enough just damage to finish them off that turn. Yeah, and then you'd have a lot of pretty nice battle cries. Well, Babbling Book is not like amazing battle cry creature, but I think Soulcaster is something that people overlook. I don't believe it requires you to be a Highlander deck, but getting extra Antonidas or Kazakus or Solia and shuffle that in might be pretty darn good in my mind. And then if you can offset the drawback of being a Highlander deck and just get your Ice Block with the new 2-drop that basically pulls out a secret from your deck into your hand. So with cards like this, you can offset all the disadvantages of being a Highlander deck, so you can still balance out and remain consistent. Tempo Mage is gone, and then basically your default mage is likely gonna be the Quest Mage with the 2-turn kill kind of package, with the Arcane Giant and some other giants. But then again, even though you lose Ragnaros, and of course you lose basically the card that made Tempo Mage possible, Flame Waker, but depending on the meta, how it shapes up, at least during the first week, something like a Secret Tempo Mage might be viable, even though that might sound crazy, but it might be good enough just on the base of the aggro matchups. Of course, the control matchups for those secret-based mages are terrible, but if there would be enough aggro, then you might want to play that. Uh, well, this is Control Shaman, and it's pretty much that. I'm showing it just so that you know that it's not really gonna be there. Without like Regis era, it's gonna be tough. Without Healing Wave, it's gonna be tough. But then maybe you can still pull it off because in the so you just take some of the elements of the mid-range elemental shaman and incorporate it into this kind of heavy Madame Goya build. Uh, and yeah, if you face a lot of aggro, then I think this might be actually a deck. Just need to make sure that you have enough of good quality late game and enough heal replacing Healing Wave. Aggro Water Rogue, I mentioned it, and I think this is gonna be probably the default rogue. I don't like the quest option. It just doesn't seem that good. So yeah, expect rogue to be pretty aggressive and with a lot of Murlocs in it. Because I believe this deck doesn't lose a whole lot. Azure Drake is not super integral to the game plan. And yeah, you still have the pirates, and yeah. And then Conceal is actually, as you see, is not really important in this deck. You don't have gadgets in Auctioneer and stuff like that. So expect this a lot, I think. Well, Dragon Priest is gone, so can we build some sort of aggressive priest? Most likely not. So you either move towards some sort of combo or towards classical kind of control or kind of spells. Jade Druid, well, expect this a lot. Expect really this a lot because the deck doesn't really lose anything that much. And the deck is pretty damn like consistent and crazy and can switch gears very easily. The deck just loses basically Azure Drake, as far as I'm concerned. I think that's pretty much it, and that's nuts. Because I don't like playing against Jade Druid, and I hope some deck emerges as a counter to it. Mid Shaman, well, what can I say? It loses its early drops, so that kind of sucks. So what do we do about that? Well, yeah, you're gonna turn into an elemental or kind of controlish deck. You can't really be aggro anymore. But then again, you probably can shift towards the full Jade version. Just make sure that you have enough like early action. Um, on the plus side, if you just make sure that you have enough answers to other aggro decks, because mid-range shaman often can like play out as an aggro deck, um, basically. So if you have enough answers for that, then well, with the full Jade package, you probably can outclass other control decks or and other mid-range decks. But yeah, you lose this early game package, which might be pretty crucial against well, both aggro and control decks as well. Yeah. Among things, you lose also Thunder Bluff, so that's a bummer as well. But yeah, I think Jade Shaman, you'd see this probably quite a lot, I think. So Rinlock is gone, so probably Control Warlock would be the hand lock, and that's gonna be kinda crazy because among things you lose like Vendor, as I said, in-game, Demon Wrath, Run plus heal guys, so that's pretty damn annoying. I can tell you that. But then again, some builds, especially with the combo, didn't even have space for the Farseer, which I find like pretty odd. I think Orange didn't have it in his list. And he finished top 5 legends with it last month. But yeah, a lot of tools are still gonna be there. But yeah, you'll have to rely a lot on the giants and that package. I think we still have the Protector and Argus to, stop the aggro, but then we lose a lot of heal, so I don't know what we will do. Siphon Soul is just like not much. So yeah, and with Pirate Warrior and Shamans having access to Burn, so this is pretty damn risky. Pretty damn risky. So you'll have to rely on Jiraxes, and then I believe we still have Alexstrasza, so don't be surprised if you'll see in Control Warlock both Jiraxes and Alexstrasza, just to be able to survive for as long as possible. But yeah, I was pretty bummed up that Warlock didn't get any heal, and there isn't really any neutral heal, so that's pretty upsetting. Well, Aggro Shaman, pretty much gone. So now I don't know what you can do. You can try to incorporate the water package into it and remain aggressive that way. But then again, like, what are you gonna cast in turns 1 and 2? Just the squires, and that's it? Like, well, you'll still have pirates, but is that actually enough? I don't know. So, would we have to, like, just go back to the um, Spirit Claws plus Buccaneer? You know, they're much worse now, but is this a necessity? But some people might try. I don't know if it's actually gonna be that good, but I don't know. Probably just, probably just too bad. Okay, guys, that's about it. If you enjoyed it, I probably forgot a lot of very important things here. Remind me what I forgot so that I know them as well and get myself reminded too. So yeah, until the next sale, goodbye, folks.